Hello and welcome to season 2 of the A 10 Star Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Robinson, and here with me today is David Rep from the North Little Rock Airshow. David, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and start this episode by allowing David to introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he does for the North Little Rock Airshow. So take the floor, David.
Perfect. Yeah, as you said, my name is David Rep, and I'm with the North Little Rock Air Show here in Central Arkansas. We are a biannual event, so we do it every 2 years because the local Air Force Base does it on the odd years, so we do it every even year. And then I'm just the air show coordinator there, so anything that you can think of, from coordinating the performers to coordinating the statics to coordinating the marketing piece with social media, and of course the ticket sales that we work with you on. Just a little bit of everything to ensure the air show goes smoothly.
So, David, I think it's really cool with the North Little Rock Airshow how the local base, has the show odd years, and then you guys take advantage of those even years, and so by doing so, you're giving locals an air show to go to every single year, and the timing of that's awesome. And obviously, the military show versus your air show is going to be look very different, um, but it's cool that you guys worked it out like that. And having an air show annually versus biannually, or even every 3 years, is a unique conversation to have. And I will say that having an air show every 2 years biannually, it seems to be a sweet spot for a lot of different reasons. Now, case by case is going to be different for everyone. But we find that the biannual events, they're just far enough apart that your previous attendees are going to want to come back because it's been 2 full years since they last experienced the air show. And on top of that, it gives you guys plenty of times to prepare and determine how you're going to improve for the next air show, what you're going to do differently, and what we learned from 2022 that we're going to change about 2024. So, um, you know, going from 2022 to 2024, David, what are some of the things that'll be new about this 2024 air show?
So we obviously learned a lot in 2022. Most of the team in 2022 had never done an air show before, or never even really experienced such a large event. And so there was a very steep learning curve in 2022. And this year we have a few returning team members. And what we learned is we've also expanded the team. So we brought on more people to help out in the different areas, in air ops, ground ops, kind of the support ops and the marketing piece and all that. And what we've learned with that is it's allowed us to kind of open up and expand what we offer. As you stated earlier, with the Air Force Base every other year, we can't compete with the fast military jets. We can't compete with those cool military planes and semi unlimited budget that the military has. So we have to find things that make us a little bit different. And what we've done this year is we've reached out to the community. So we're going to bring in some remote control aircraft that are going to do some performances for us. There's a local monster truck organization, and so we're going to have some monster truck rides out in the grass next to the ramp. And then those guys are going to do a little demonstration for us as well during the show. We've invited out Precision Exotics, and so they're going to offer exotic car rides and do also a demo out there during the air show. And we've also kind of offered helicopter rides. That was a huge hit in 2022. A company out of Northwest Arkansas comes down and they bring a couple of helicopters, and people are able to purchase about a 20-minute ride around, outside the airspace. Of course, and on top of all that, all the static displays that you're able to bring in as well with a bigger team.
Precision Exotics. Um, that's a pretty cool act to have at the show. I like that one a lot.
So what I do when I plan who we're going to have come in a performance is I bring up YouTube, and I have a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old, both boys, and I find some acts, and then I have my 10-year-old and 14-year-old stand by and watch the acts, and if they say that's cool, or if they start walking away, get disinterested, then I move on to the next act. So that's kind of how I schedule my shows. And Precision Exotics was a huge one. They love that, and they want to see those cars out there, and they want to try to get in them and do their little test ride with them.
Bringing all of this to the air show in 2024, um, there's a very unique challenge when it comes to non-jet team air shows versus jet team air shows, and we work a lot with jet team shows and non-jet team air shows. And when I say there's a unique challenge, well, you don't have the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels coming to perform. So it's what can we bring to the air show to attract an audience? And it's a lot of cool smaller performers that are very, very, very entertaining. It's things like Precision Exotics, which I've seen them show up to a lot of jet team shows too. I mean, they're a very popular act to have at your air show. Um, and it's what can we do with the marketing to really make an impact and draw a crowd. And what's really cool about this year is with the email marketing, we have a list now of previous attendees from 2022. And 2022 was really like the first air show you did at that scale, um, and with the online ticketing. So now with that list of previous attendees, now we've got a solid list to send those email campaigns to, send out cool performer highlights, know before you go information before attendees come, which is something that really helps with attendee satisfaction, delivering that information right before the show so attendees know exactly what to expect before coming. They see the prohibited items, permanent items as well. They see
Parking information.
FAQs. Yeah, and then the marketing side of it, where we actually promote the air show, push ticket sales. It goes a long way, um, and at the same time, inside of a 10 star, we're able to track all of this campaign activity inside of what we call Attendalytics, which is where a lot of our marketing tools are. Um, and under Attendalytics, there's a campaigns tab, and every single email campaign that we send out, we create a unique campaign link with unique tracking parameters. So there's a query string attached to each ticket sales page link. So all the buy tickets buttons on those email campaigns, um, they're not only tracked inside of Google Analytics, but they're also tracked inside of a 10 star. So it makes it super cool and easy for clients to log in and click on that campaign link, and you can view a handful of different reports within that campaign link. You can obviously see revenue attributed to that email, and two, we've adopted a new strategy when it comes to overall attribution, email attribution for air shows. And we've noticed that with email campaigns, there's a lot of direct revenue that's generated, but the direct revenue generated only accounts for about 50 to 60% of the total revenue actually generated by those email campaigns. And you may bring up the question, well, why is that? And well, in those email campaigns, we send out other links too. So we send links to the event website. We send links to social media. there are a few different places recipients can go after receiving an email campaign from a 10 star, or they may not even click on anything at all. Um, and so with the with the list of previous attendees now, we're uniquely tracking each open per email recipient. And so once we see those opens from all of those attendees, we can better um, wrap up a attributed revenue report of the overall impact of email marketing for your event whenever we will this year give you your post event summary, which is a cool report that we're doing now for all of our events. On top of the email metrics, we also will share the survey results. We've got a a survey that we send out for every event that's fairly generic, but it covers a lot of different questions um, that will give you a lot of insight to um, ways you can improve, things that attendees really liked about the event, what problems they had. Did they have any issues buying tickets? Unique information like that helps us um, as a team, a 10 star and your air show, better improve year after year. And it's amazing to compare the events over time to see the improvement every single show.
Yeah. And talking about that, comparing the events, we can still see all of the metrics from 2022. So we have our closed campaign and our active campaign this year. So we're able to go and, for example, we are trying to work with hotels to get the best deals. And one of the questions the hotel asked us was, where are people coming from? Maybe they can make some business off of, people coming in as well. And so we went to the 10 Stars website and the analytics, and we pulled the location report, and we were able to provide that to the hotel, showing people were buying tickets in Ohio and Texas, all over the place. And, the hotel is very happy. They didn't think that we could provide that.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's interesting too. To I mean, it's economic impact. I mean, you're
yeah.
bringing people in from all over the country, out of state.
Touching back on that email marketing, I just wanted to say that the emails are great. They're beautiful. They're very engaging. Vibrant colors. Very short and sweet. They're not long and drawn out, so people get the message and then they can click around where they want to. You guys have got a great schedule. I mean, I signed up for the email, so I get them in my private inbox as well. I mean, you're not spamming everybody. You've got a great schedule that you send out, so people, it feels fresh every time you get a new email with a different subject or different thing that you're focusing on that time. And kind of touching on the analytics, I mean, when you sent out the tickets or live email, I mean, we got the analytics report, and we made a lot of ticket sales that day, and we were able to see that directly. And then every email campaign you send out, we're able to go in and visually see how well those are doing. So I'm very pleased with the email marketing, and how, like I said, how vibrant. I don't have to provide any edits or comments. It's pre-built. You guys know what you are doing.
That's cool feedback. Yeah, thanks a lot, David, for that. And for listeners who don't know, part of our offering at a 10 star is you can have us manage your email marketing efforts for you. And we have a ton of experience doing this just because we work with so many different events, do it year round. And we've learned a lot about what works. Um, and it's a challenge for marketers, for an air show who are on air show staff who maybe only do it every 2 years or even annually. Whereas at a 10 star, we're doing shows every weekend in different events. So um, we have a lot of data to lean on whenever we're making decisions on what to send out. And the cadence piece, like David mentioned, when they go out is crucial. We have a specific cadence that we follow um, for air shows, and that can vary a little bit depending on the nature of the air show. And it depends on, hey, are we going to do a pre-sale campaign? Are we going to give previous attendees access to buy tickets before the public? Is that going to benefit us this year or not? Um, are we going to just do a general public on sale? um, and email marketing. There's a lot of people. It's not as fun of a thing to talk about to some people as like Facebook advertising or digital advertising in general. Um, but the impact of email marketing is substantial, and it's so cost effective for events. Yeah,
With your Attendalytics, you can also see who has put tickets in their cart, maybe who's looked at the tickets, and you can also kind of target those people as well with the email marketing. So you're not just sending out a general blast to previous attendees and then current attendees, but you can also target specifically people who have tickets in their cart, or maybe started the process but never finished, kind of thing as well.
yeah, absolutely. That's a huge piece of the email marketing as well. That we call it our re-engagement list, your retargeting list. Some will call it an abandoned cart. Um, yeah, like David said, anyone who adds tickets to their cart, one of the things that we prioritize is in our checkout flow is to collect that email up front, so that we can later target that audience and that segment of your email list with email campaigns because they've shown interest in buying, but they just haven't yet made that decision. So we can send that segment unique material to help them and encourage them to purchase those tickets to the show. Last year, or in 2022 rather, we mailed you out your scanners. Talk a little bit about using those scanners, and was it easy to use? Were they hard to use? Did you like them?
We love the scanners. That was a huge relief. Going in, starting this whole process before we even started with you, that was kind of the big question: is how do we sell tickets? And then once again, what is the process? Do we have something where you rip up and then he let people in? So when we started working with you and found out you guys mailed out scanners for the event, and we were able to use those and then return them, pretty much free of charge, I believe. Right? It was free of charge. That was a huge relief. We gave that out to all of our parking attendants. We did a little brief training session with them, and they just rock and rolled with them. Didn't have any complaints. It was so easy to scan tickets that people had on their phones or they printed out. And if people needed to buy a ticket, there was a credit card scanner that people could just tap and go on. It made it smooth and easy. That was the biggest concern. And from previous, we done previous smaller air shows, but parking and getting people in and out was always a concern. So getting people in quicker with these scanners and capability, not having to deal with cash, and it's all wireless too, so that makes it nice as people aren't trying to stand out there and fiddle with 15 different wires.
They hold a charge very well. They'll last all day. And yeah, they operate off of a private cellular network, which is a pretty important piece of the hardware. Um,
That's the last thing you want crashing when 10,000 people are trying to use their cell phones at the same time.
yeah, yeah, and I mean the cellular networks, your standard like AT&T, Verizon, your cell towers, they just get bogged down when so many people are in the area. Well, David, um, we've gone through a lot of cool stuff today. I really appreciate you joining us and taking the time. out of your day to do this. Thank you guys for joining us for the 10 Star Happy Hour podcast. My name is Brennan Robinson from a 10 Star, and here with me today is David Rep. And we'll talk to you next time.